How are you doing today? It's Brian. Today is Tuesday, the 10th of August. Sure, it's the 10th? Yeah, 10th of August. Just here to run through what's happening in the markets today. We're going to talk about the BTX method very quickly, look through what's happening in the S&P, crude, and gold. So those are the three instruments that we track. And we'll see what happened yesterday, what is on the agenda for the day, how we're going to approach the market, and even talk about some key levels that we'll be watching in the event that we get some good momentum one direction or the other. All right, so let's go ahead and let's start over here first. It's important, as I've mentioned before, to always check your economic calendar. I'm using Forex Factory, but Bloomberg's got a calendar, FX3's got a calendar. You can find an economic calendar just about anywhere. Financial Juice has a really good one. That's a buddy of mine, Amar, owns Financial Juice. That's a really good economic calendar as well. So let's go ahead and, as we can see here, we don't really have anything going on for the day that would be high impact news. So with that said, let's just jump over here to the charts and we can see what's going on. I'm laughing because yesterday, we're taking care of my mom's cat, and yesterday I start broadcasting, and the second I started talking, the cat just came in meowing, 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 and he just did it a second ago. He just meowed. I thought he was going to do it again. Anyway, off on a tangent. Let's stick to what's going on. But I found it funny, and just thought that's why I'm laughing a little bit to myself about this cat over here meowing. So what's happening in the S&P? Well, we're looking for long trading opportunities. We can see that on the 4 hour, we're definitely long on the 4 hour, and the 30-minute is long as well. I'm looking at a 30-minute chart on all of these. So what we'll be watching for on an intraday basis is we want to see the market start pulling back. So once we get into regular trading hours, which is about 30 minutes from now, it's when the market actually officially opens for regular trading hours at 9:30 Eastern. We'd like to see the market start pulling back. So we'd like to see lower highs and lower lows. Like we saw this yesterday, lower high, lower low, right? But this happened at not yesterday. Well, this is yesterday technically, but this is at a time that we're not in the market. What happened? Where's yesterday? Here we go. So we opened. It made a big push down, but didn't really give us any signals to be able to enter and go back long. We want to see lower high, kind of like we were seeing pre-market, right? Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we'll trade as it breaks back in the direction of that market trend as it breaks out of the lower high, right? So we want to see the market making lower highs and lower lows, and we'll trade in the direction of the current trend. If we get some momentum and push down, I've still got 44.15 on my radar. If we look at this a little further out, we can see we've got a 44.15 setting up as a really solid support area down here. So if we get some momentum and break through 44.15, definitely and close below it on a larger level, that could be a signal that the market's rolling over. But for right now, we're just going to wait and see if we get that pullback, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we'd like to see it break back in the direction of its current market trend. So that's all we're watching for. Crude, yesterday we did have a potential trading opportunity. It did stop us out, so we were looking to go short on crude. We can see that the long-term, I say long-term, the 4 hour bias is short, 30-minute bias was short as well. So we'd be looking for short trading opportunities, which looked like exactly like this. This is a really nice, clean push higher, and then we'd want to trade in the direction of that market trend back lower, right? But didn't really pan out for us. It pushed up, took us in, we're able to trail our stop down a little bit, but ultimately didn't have enough momentum to keep continuing lower. Instead, it ended up reversing back and coming out with a small loss on that one. But we're looking, today, today crude is still in a short position for right now. We'll see, what happens here in just a bit if this crosses over. So right now, 4 hours short, 30-minute is technically short as well. But if this pushes a little bit higher, the 30-minute would be it would conflict with the 4 hour bias, and that would just tell us to put a big X here. But for right now, until that does, and you'll know because the indicator it won't give you any signals. If this crosses, you won't get any kind of signals because you'd have a conflicting market bias there. All right. Gold, same thing. We're in a short bias. We're still looking for short trading opportunities on gold. So we'd like to see the market push higher and then trade back in the direction of that you have that current market trend, which is short. So we want to see higher lows and higher highs, higher lows and higher highs. We do have some key levels on gold. Gold's in a bit of a channel as well. You know, we've got this 1725 on the downside, and we've got about 1740 on the short term as a high side. We can certainly play those breakouts, you know, if you're looking for something, just looking for kind of intraday action outside of the BTX method. You know, because it's oftentimes we don't really get that signal, that setup, but we still get good trading opportunities if we watch key areas. So, you know, 1740 as a top side, 1725 as a low side. You know, if we break those with some momentum, that's an opportunity to get in and take a trade as well. As I've mentioned in the past, you know, when you're looking at those just small intraday breakout opportunities, I would recommend keeping your stops pretty tight on those. You know, I look at 5 points or so and trail it pretty quickly. So if I'm looking at a 5 point stop with some, you know, on a burst of momentum through one of those zones, you know, one of those levels, whether it's 1725 or 1740, you know, you get some momentum through there, keep it tight, use maybe a 5 point stop, and when it goes 5 points, you know, set your stop loss to break even, maybe break even plus just a little bit so that it covers your costs on the trade. And then if it continues to run up to, let's say, 10 points, maybe you take off half or just take your profit right there altogether and be out of the trade. But obviously, safest method, you know, what we're here for is just stick to the BTX method. If you're just starting out, you don't have experience looking at breakouts and trading things of that nature, just look at the BTX method. That's a super low stress way to do it because you don't have to worry about watching the market to see when it's going to break or if it breaks and taking that action, right? The BTX method, we don't have to check it, you know, once at the top of the hour, once at the bottom of the hour, and it literally takes a minute to check in and see what the market's doing. So that definitely is the lowest stress. You know, as I've mentioned before, you're not going to win every trade. You know, we've had a series, crude has beat us up. You know, we've had a series of losses in crude. Is what it is. You know, we've had 6 months of winning trades up to now. You know, but it happens. You don't win every trade. So we have to keep that in mind as we come into these things and just roll with those punches. Like crude is giving us some punches right now, but you got to roll with it and, you know, press on regardless. So that's it for now. We've got our marching orders. We know what we're looking for. We've got some key areas that we're watching on gold, 1725, 1740. We've got some key areas that we're watching over here on crude, which is the 44.15 to 44.30. We're in a channel there as well. If we break out of those, it could be pretty interesting for us. So I'm going to leave it here. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll see what happened. We'll recap the day and keep pushing on. All right, you guys